Hey everyone, how are you doing tonight? Hope that you guys are doing fantastic. We've got Lisa, we've got MLL, we've got Alicia. Hi everyone, we've got Renee. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. We're already basically at the end of October. How's everybody's fall starting out? So it started out, hello Cleo, started out super, super warm here. And then, for the past week, it has been glorious. I think this week, if I open up the weather, right now it's 58 degrees outside. And then tomorrow, the high is 66. And then we've got 65. And we've got 62. It's beautiful. Oh, yes, Mary Lou. Thank you. Thank you. I am the worst at remembering people's handles versus their names. I don't know why I'm so bad at it. We've got, hi, Rossi. How are you? But I am, especially being as pregnant as I am very much enjoying the cooler weather. I only have 13 days until Nicholas is born, unless he decides to come sooner. We've got T minus 13 days. Favorite fall favorite season. So pretty with the leaves changing. I could not agree more. I can't believe that we're already at the point where it's book club time again. It has been in the 70s for the past week, and now we are in the 60s for the next week. Loving fall. Hi, Lacey. Northwest Indiana is in a dip. Was in the 30s and 40s the past couple of days, but it will get back to the 60s soon. Yeah, in Oklahoma, there are sometimes I've had a Halloween where it was still 90 degrees. So, yeah, I'm very much loving that Oklahoma has decided to get with the picture finally. Hey, how are you? Beach Bum Bookworm. If you like cozies, you should also go and check out her YouTube channel if you haven't already. All right, so let's dive in to today's book chat that we're talking about. Now, as I am going out and reading the synopsis, will you guys put in the comments what you are rating this month's book? So this month's book was Snow Way Out. It's a Snow Globe Shop mystery series by Christine Husum. This was the first in the series, and it was supposed to be for our magical theme of the month for October, which we'll get into later on whether or not we really did think that it had the magic that we thought that it might have. So, curio shop manager Cameron Brooks thought she'd seen every kind of globe until she saw one depicting a crime. Ever since she was a child, Cammie has loved the sparkling beauty of snow globes, and now she sells them. In fact, they're so popular, Cammie and her friend, coffee shop owner Alice Pinky Nelson, are hosting a snow globe making class, which I would totally take, by the way. I don't know about you guys. After the flurry of activity has ended and everyone has gone off with their own handmade snow globe, Cammie spots a snow globe left behind on a shelf, featuring an odd tableau: a man sleeping on a park bench. On her way home, she drifts through the town park and is shaken to come upon the scene from the globe. A man sitting on a bench, but he isn't sleeping. He has a knife in his back. When the police arrive, it's clear they consider Cammie a little flaky and possibly a suspect. After her friends also come under suspicion, Cammie starts plowing through clues to find the cold-blooded backstabber before someone else gets iced. So that was the book. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Yay, Sarah! So happy that you're here. Okay, so Mary Lou gave it a 4. Beach Bum gave it a 4. Lisa gave it a 2. Lacey gave it a 3.5. Renee gave it a 3. I'm so glad that you guys would also get go take a snow globe class, of course. Didn't get to it this month. That's totally okay. I just hope that you're perfectly okay with getting all of the spoilery things. I would too, and a stop over for coffee next door, right? I loved the setup of the book a lot. Alicia Peacock 3. So if you saw my Goodreads, because I know that some of you guys follow me on Goodreads, you saw that I finished it. I think was it yesterday or the day before? And I gave it 2 stars. So we've got a lot of mixtures on star rating here. I didn't see any 5s. The highest I see is a 4. And then the lowest I see, it looks like Lisa, you and I gave it a 2. So let's start talking about the overallness of the book. So first off, we always talk about our main character. So if you guys don't remember, we always have. I'm going to share my screen real quick so that you guys can. If you're not a part of the book club, I want you guys can go over there. This is always free. But I have the October live stream, and then I also have all the discussion questions as well as the character lists as well. So these are the questions that we're sort of going to go back and forth on, and everything like that. And as a reminder for anybody who is not aware, we are not going to have book club for November because Nick is being born on November 8th, unless he comes earlier, and I'm going to take the whole month off. But we will be back in December, and I'm super excited about the 12 Days of Cosmos, and I have some really cool ideas for it, which I might bounce some ideas off of some of my Patreon tiers and see what they think. But so we've got all of that going on. Renee, I was surprised to find out that there were 3 books in 2 years, and that's that's the whole series. Oh, I didn't know that was the whole series. Okay, so one of the questions I have is like, what are your guys' main thoughts about Cami and her general personality? Because Cami was like, I don't know. I could not get connected with her for some reason. Like I really, really enjoyed the fact that like she owned the curio shop with all of the snow globes and that her best friend worked next door. And I love the idea that her aunt and uncle became her mom and dad after her parents, or after I think her mom passed away, and then her dad, did he also pass away? I couldn't quite um make that connection. And so I loved the idea of her, but I also thought that she seemed to be very I don't know, almost self-involved in a way. What do you guys think about like her overall personality when it came to how she perceived things from others and things like that? Uh You mean Cameron, not Cammy. So annoying. Yes. So like stuff like that was just like, I was like, okay, I get it. Hi, Ivy. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for coming. I did not connect with her either. She was very lackluster for me. I loved the snow globe shop and the coffee shop next door. Yeah, like the snow globe shop and the coffee shop next door, like they felt very cozy and very homey, and it gave me those kind of vibes, right? Like it gave me the feeling of a cozy. But I think that that's sort of where it stopped for me. Uh, oh no, Lacey, I'm sorry you got disconnected. So I was a little like, I don't know, I wanted more. And I know that we always have to give the first book the benefit of the doubt because it's the first time you're writing it. I mean, I'm sure now that I'm starting to edit my first draft of my book, like I am sure there are some people who are going to hate my main character. Like and so as an author, you just sort of you have to develop like a thick skin for that. So I'm trying to be have constructive criticism, but also be aware that it is the first book in the series. So what did you think about her best friends, Aaron and Pinky? Did you feel like their friendship was genuine and made sense? I really want to know what you guys feel about that. I like that she was adopted. We don't see that so much. If she was my one-time teacher, she'd be nice enough, but she felt young personality-wise. I agree. Very much so. Alicia loved the setting. The specialty shop was what made the book for me really unique. I agree. I loved that. I loved the shop, but not her. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, she needed to be more open or like more vulnerable as a main character and as a sleuth. I feel like we were only getting like the surface of her stuff, and I really wish that we could have gotten more under the surface level details about how she was feeling and her life, and it didn't have to be necessarily about like um just the little things that she would nitpick, like her name and things like that. Um, I liked Erin. I liked Erin too. I liked that she was a teacher, and I liked that she was of Asian descent. I really, really liked that. I feel like it could have been more prominent. I want to see more BIPOC characters in cozy mysteries. And so I really liked her. I liked Pinky. I feel like she had more personality than Cammy did. But to me, their friendship didn't really seem very like genuine. Like she even at one point thought that both of her best friends could have been the killer. And so I don't know. It felt like they were like not on the same level kind of way. I didn't feel like they were like the best friend group. You know what I mean? Um, I felt the friendship was genuine, but I felt so much was missing in the development of the protagonist. Agreed. Like I needed more meat on Cameron to be able to really understand why she was the way she was. I didn't feel connected to her friends either. They did seem comfortable with each other. Didn't seem comfortable with each other. I agree. I feel like Erin and Pinky felt very comfortable with each other, and Mark. But I didn't necessarily feel as though they were very comfortable with Cameron. So I know that we talked about how much we love the shop and the coffee shop. But did you feel as though the town felt like a character, or do you think that that's too early to really make the town feel like a character in and of itself? Is that something that you're willing to wait for the town to grow on you, and then have little like aspects of the map sort of like opened up over the books, sort of like a video game does? Or is that something that you really want the authors to pinpoint like and give you an in detailed thing about like what it all looks like and feels like? Um Mary Lou, I thought she was really slow not to figure out what they were planning. I agree. It made me sad that she thought that they were like the killers or something because of that. Like I was kind of bummed about that for her. Um that's what I mean by young, the arm distance friends, the annoyance of names. She just didn't feel like she was herself yet. I agree. It's like she needed to just mature a little bit. I didn't feel the town was as developed, but I'm okay exploring in future books. The town was missing for me. I need the town to become a character for me in the first book so that I can feel connected. Yeah, I kind of want to feel as though I am walking down the street with a coffee in my hand and I can visually see every single spot in the town square or wherever it is at. Ivy, I like to be able to picture the place in my mind. I didn't get a feel for the town at all. Okay, so at least like I wasn't the only one that felt that way. I really want the town fleshed out. I want to feel the close knit community vibe. Agreed. Like I want to be able to just almost picture the exact layout of the main street in my head. And so I could not agree with you guys more. So basically the synopsis is we have this guy that his name's Gerald Powers. He's the one who's killed, and he comes back to town. Now, this puts a bad taste in Aaron's mouth because he had tried to previously break in and rob her home, and she was one of the reasons why he was in jail in the first place. He gets out of jail, goes to like a halfway house, and is apparently back in town. And Aaron's super upset, and Pinky and Cameron are trying to be very, very supportive of her, all while they're having a snow globe class where, surprise, surprise, Gerald Powers' girlfriend and her sister are a part of the class. And everything sort of goes really, really weird and just off-putting at the end of the class because the teacher of the class, May, was actually Gerald Powers' ex-wife, and there was just a lot going on. So we've got a lot of suspects when it comes to the murder of Gerald Powers. We've got May, we've got Pam, we have Lauren. At one point, Cameron is considered part of the killer as a protector of Aaron. Aaron and Pinky are also considered suspects because both of them have a specific knife missing from their same knife set, which is the same knife that Gerald Powers was killed with. And then we have his sort of like, not necessarily cellmate. They were in the same jail together, and then they went to the same halfway house. Benedict Arnold, and he seems like to be a suspect. So there are a lot of suspecting going around. And so that was sort of that was a lot, though there weren't a lot of characters. So there might have been about 15 characters. I did leave off the 3 women who invited Cameron to their Halloween party, which, okay, and I'm skipping to a few other questions. What were your guys' thoughts on the fact that Cameron went to a Halloween party of people she has no idea who they are, to tell the story about finding the body of the man who just died the previous week? Like, was that tasteless to you guys? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that shouldn't have happened. I feel like that's just not her place to tell. I also didn't feel like it was her place to tell the newspaper, the reporter, I think her name was Sandy Gibbons. I feel like it wasn't her place to tell Sandy Gibbons all of the details that she had found when she had found Mr. Powers' body and was working with the detective, Assistant Chief Clinton Lonsbury. I thought that it was uh, it was very, I don't know, I just wasn't a fan of that. Hey April, so glad that you were here. Yay, I'm glad that you're catching up and so happy you're here. I found that distasteful. Let me see. I think the spirit of perversity prompted her after her friends told her not to go. Agreed. But then that's very, very much like childish in a way too, right? Like, I wasn't gonna go, but now you're telling me I can't go, so now I am gonna go, kind of thing. The book lacked a lot of cozy appeal I expect in a cozy mystery. Alicia, Courtney, I'm taking away one of my Cleos. The more we talk about this book, the more convoluted it gets. Yes, and I feel really, really bad because you guys know that I don't like talking really bad about books or anything like that. Of course, like this book could be someone's absolute favorite. We have a couple of 4 stars, so I am not judging you at all if you absolutely loved this book. I really, really, really wanted to love this book. Sharing the story about finding Mr. Powers' body made me uncomfortable, distasteful. Also, to show up in a racy outfit like that of Marilyn. very immature. Yeah, I was just kind of like, okay, I didn't know what to do with that. And I was sort of like, am I reading a cozy? What's going on here? Now, again, maybe in the 3 books that this series is, the protagonist grows a lot. And I mean, there's always the benefit of the doubt that that she does grow and get better. So, speaking of all of that, did you like the relationship between Detective Clint and Cameron? Um, I didn't I feel like a lot of it was forced, like, and I know that this happens a lot with cozies when, like, there's a romantic kind of connection between the sleuth and the sheriff or the detective or whatever, but I feel like it was being forced quite a bit. Um, and it didn't really feel as though, like, it was natural kind of a romance between them. So I wasn't really rooting for her and Clint to get together. I did like the idea of, like, Mark, um like, seeing her and, like, talking about how beautiful she was and everything like that, but then she saw Mark too much as a friend. I really did like Mark as a character, the officer that's also a best friend with, like, the 3 women. I did really, really like him as a character, and I actually thought that he had probably the most personality out of everyone in the book. I don't know how you guys felt about Mark, but that's sort of like what I was getting. I liked that a lot. I liked Clint, but she made him uncomfortable and me with her always correcting him. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And she just, like, she was sleuthing, but she wasn't sleuthing necessarily. So that kind of also, like, threw me for a loop. Um, so one of the things that I am a little sad about is, did you feel like the book was magical at all? I am so just bummed. Like, this month theme for book club was supposed to be magical. And I feel like I was like, I don't know. I feel like I read the synopsis and it seemed like it was going to be magical, and then it wasn't. And then I got really sad about it because I feel like I let you guys down having it be a selection for this month's theme. I feel like we almost should have a do-over of magical, because I thought that the snow globes were going to be magical, which, how cool would have that been? Like, her mom is there and she knows things, and then, like, the snow globes turn into something like that. Like, that would have been really, really cool. But then I feel like the only thing that was sort of magical was the pennies that kept being left. Um and maybe that's her mom leaving those there, but uh I was super, super bummed because I wanted October to be a magical month, and then as we get to the end and we find out how the snow globes actually came to be, we find out that it's not magical at all, and I was super bummed about it. I don't know about you guys. Um, let's see. Not really. No, I did not feel the book had any magical aspect. Thank you, April. I feel really bad though. Like, we ultimately chose it. Yes, yes, you did not let us down. I really liked the snow globe. Not magical, but it's okay. December will be magical with Christmas. Agreed. If you want a great magical read, check out Heather Blake's Wishcraft series. I will have to check that out because, yeah, I felt like I didn't get my cozy mystery witchiness enough. Like, I did read an amazing magical book. And I absolutely loved it. If you guys want to know what it is, it's the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I really, really loved that book. That was a 5-star read for me this month. And it was like the perfect amount of magic, and it gave me cozy vibes, and like it was really good. So I loved that. All right. So the there was another underlying mystery that was going around in the book, was this tall, lanky guy who looked very, very close to Gerald Powers in looks, sort of following Cameron around. And it was very, very creepy, like the way that he would pop up and show up. And she kept telling Mark and Clint about it, but they couldn't ever really see or find him. Their main suspect in the end was Benedict Arnold. And then we find that Cameron goes and looks at her newspaper interview and looks at Benedict Arnold and Gerald Powers' pictures together, and she draws on like the glasses and everything, and she realizes that that Benedict Arnold looks a lot like the guy that's been following her around. And she finally runs into him when she decides to go back to her store, and he sort of like holds on to her, scares her, but then is also like, I didn't do it. And there's a lot of things that like she did not tell Clint until later, but we find out that Benedict and Gerald Powers are half brothers, which is super, super weird. Small world. But okay, there was this one thing that I kind of wanted to happen. And I don't know if I'm alone in this, so I'm just going to let you guys decide. When we found out that the person following Cameron could have been Benedict Arnold, I thought that maybe Benedict actually was killed and that Gerald Powers is the one sleuthing around, like going to his own funeral and trying to see, like trying to stay hidden. Like I think that would have been a really, really cool plot twist, is if the person who really died was Benedict Arnold and Gerald Powers stayed alive, but he's the one who killed his brother. And I thought that this like I thought it would have been really cool. I thought that would have been like, and then I would have been thrown for a loop, and then a lot of things that like I was maybe not like the happiest with, I'd have been like, okay, but you got me. Like that was good. That was good. That's not how it ended up, but I rewrote it in my head that that's the way that it ended up. Alicia read the very irregular. Yes, it was just like a hug. I agree. Me too. I thought it was a swap. That's a very clever idea. See, it's so good. I also thought it was a switch. It would have been like, oh, like almost. It would have been perfect for that. So, who did you guys think that the killer was when it all came down to it? Like before the big reveal, who did you guys think it was? I will admit that I did not know who it was until I was at 85% in the book. And then once I got to 85%, I was like, oh, this is the killer. But like up until 85%, I was like, maybe it really is Benedict Arnold and we're just like, it's just that easy. Like I did not think it could have been one of the best friends. I thought maybe it could have been the sister of the girlfriend, Lauren, but I didn't think that either. Ooh, I never figure out my rule of thumb is to suspect everyone. Seriously, and in this book, everybody was a suspect. Alicia says that May was their was her pick. Yeah, like I was on the fence between Benedict and May and Lauren. Lisa, I figured out who the killer was by about 75% in. Yeah, normally I get it at about 70%. Like if I hadn't gotten it yet, then normally I get it. Um, but I did not guess the killer, although I was not surprised either. Okay, so the killer ended up being being our gardener, our his name was Archie Newberry, the Central Park worker and friend of the three best friends. I was very, very sad and disappointed in the killer. So Archie has known the girls since they were little, and they were best friends at like the age of 8. And he has been taking care of the town parks for decades and decades. And apparently, he had quite the fondness for Aaron because he is a veteran of the Vietnam War. And we find out that he had a love interest in Vietnam, and the parents found out that she was pregnant by Archie, sent her away, but he knew that he had a child out there. So when Erin was adopted by her parents and brought in from the same area, he became sort of in his own mind a pseudo parent to her and looking out for her and everything like that. It makes your heart super super sad, or at least it made my heart super sad when they revealed that Archie was the killer. But then it also was, I don't know, like, so what happened is Archie had left the class, the snow globe making class. He actually created one of the snow, or he took supplies for creating snow globes and even made one that night. And he was just practicing, seeing what it would look like on the cabinetry at Curio Finds. But he ended up accidentally leaving it there. And the first one that he made was a man sitting on a bench. Underneath trees. And that's the globe that Cami found that night before she locked up and left. And then that's what made it seem as though it was magical, because when Archie was going through the park to go home, Gerald Powers jumped out with the knife that he had stolen from his robbery of Aaron's house many years ago, and he tried to rob Archie. And Archie, having PTSD and everything from when he was in the war, he says that he did not really remember what happened, but next thing he knew, Gerald Powers was stabbed with the knife and on the ground dead. I feel like it really was self-defense, and that all of this could have been stopped if Archie had just done the right thing, called the police and said what happened. But then he sort of dug himself in it worse by not doing anything about it, and then making a second snow globe with a police officer walking in the park with the three kids playing the like playing with a ball, and making it seem like there was something more sinister going on. And so it was just kind of, I don't know. I feel like it was all a misunderstanding, and it just made me really really sad for Archie. Um Alicia, I was surprised. He seemed so lovable. There was no motive except for self-defense. Yep. I didn't figure it out. I hate it when I like the killer. Felt like Myrtle book all over again, right? I was very disappointed that Archie was made out to be the killer. It was self-defense. This is another reason why I was not a fan of the book. Yeah, I just felt so so sad, and I didn't it didn't feel like a, and I know this is dumb because like we read murder every month, but like it wasn't a satisfied killing. Like it wasn't a justified killing. It wasn't like, oh, and then the bad guy's getting caught. Like it just felt like it was a no-win situation. And it just made me go, oh, and like I was just kind of sad at the end of the book. I was just sort of like, well, darn it, that sucks. Like I couldn't I couldn't shake it. Um So I'm glad that I am not the only one uh, who was sad about the way that the killer was revealed. So we sort of ended the book with uh, you know, everybody sort of like going their way, but also agreeing to go and help Archie with like his lawyer fees and everything like that. So at least like it ended with maybe Archie's, it's not going to be the end of Archie and his life and everything. I hated it so much. Um, I have a hard time even calling Archie the killer, right? Like yes, no win situation is a good description. Agree. There was no malicious intent at all. Like it wasn't, I don't know. I have so many books in here that are all about murder and everything, and this one just made me go, oh, like I was just sad. So, were you guys was surprised with how the story left off, and are you going to continue the series? I was I was happy in the end that the justice system was going to do its best to give justice to Archie um, as self-defense. That's sort of how I felt like it left off, was that he had enough money in his savings that he was going to be able to hire a lawyer, a good lawyer, to be able to help protect him, and that the girls, the three best friends, were still going to be by his side. um that made me feel a lot better. I'm not going to be continuing the series, however. I don't, I mean, even though they look so flippin' good and I love the titles, we've got, yeah, there's 3 books in the series. um we've got The Iced Princess and then Frosty the Dead Man. Like the it's the covers are cute. It's hilarious. Like I love the names and everything. But yeah, I will not personally be continuing the series. Um let's see. I actually read this in 2020, so I'm thinking I won't continue it. I felt let down at the end because he was still going to jail. I will not continue the series. This is crazy, but yes, I am continuing. I think it might get better and only 2 more in the series. Okay, Alicia, you have to let me know. Like, does it get better? I will trust you. I did like the way it ended, but I will not continue the series. Looking at Goodreads, the author trained and served with actual police. So that's cool. That is super cool. I do like that a lot. I will not continue the series. The specialty chop is just not enough to continue. I won't continue with the series. So we've got a few that are, we've got a few that aren't. For those that decide that they're going to, I really want to know. Give me spoilery details. Like message me on Instagram. I want all of the spoilery details. I will live vicariously through you. This just let me know. Seriously. Um, so like I said, let's see, Ivy, not going to continue. Just too many other cozies that give me the warm fuzzies. Agreed. There are way too many books on my TBR for me to try and continue. But I'm I'm so glad that we were able to talk about this. This is one of the things that I love about book club, is like there are going to be times where some of us hate the book and then other of us love it. And what I love is the fact that everybody is chill with everybody else's opinion. Like I love that everybody talks or in our chat box and everything. It makes my heart so happy. I love you guys so much. But before I wrap up for the night, remember there is no book club in November because I'm having Mr. Nicholas in 13 days, unless he decides to come sooner. And then, but I am, during that month, I am going to be working on some really cool things for the 12 days of Cosmos that I'm super excited about, as well as we will start book club back up in December. I'm still going to make a bookmark for November, so you guys keep an eye out for that. And just keep an eye out on the Patreon for some other things that I've got up my sleeve that I've been working on. I'll post on there. But yeah, you guys will still see me. I'm still going to try and post videos on the weekends. I have a vlog actually coming out on Saturday. You guys are the first to hear about it. And it's actually my reading vlog of me reading this book. So it is literally my live thoughts as I'm reading through this book. And it's almost a week's worth of content. So it might be about 30 minutes long. But I thought it would be fun to try and vlog a little bit for you guys. So that stuff's coming out as well. But yeah, I'm just so glad that you guys are a part of book club and all of that. Thank you. Best wishes on the birth of your baby boy. Looking forward to December and all of the cozy books ahead. Yes, I'm so excited. But without further ado, I hope you guys can't hear. My son has his musical instruments out. So I hear a whole bunch of like really loud noise coming from upstairs. But all of you guys enjoy your new joy. See you in December. Yes. So good night, everybody. Still talk to me on Instagram. Still going to post on Instagram and on YouTube and all of that fun stuff. So I will talk to you guys later. Next time you guys see me on a live stream, I'm gonna have a newborn baby and a 2-year-old. So good night, everyone. Yes, thank you so much. Good night, everybody. I will see you guys later. Bye.